In the small, picturesque town of Willowbrook, nestled deep within the heart of the dense, foreboding Blackwood Forest, summer was a time of laughter and adventure for the local children. A tight-knit group of young friends comprising Lily, Ethan, Maya, and Noah eagerly awaited the end of each school year to embark on their annual summer escapades. Little did they know that this summer would be unlike any other, a summer that would etch terrifying memories into their souls. Willowbrook, the four friends gathered at their secret hideaway, a rustic tree house perched high in the branches of the tallest oak tree in the forest. They had spent years building and decorating it, and it served as their sanctuary and headquarters for all their adventures. The treehouse was adorned with fairy lights that lit up the surrounding woods like fireflies, casting eerie shadows on the ancient trees. Their first summer mission was to explore the legendary Witch's Glen, a place shrouded in mystery and rumored to be cursed. Tales whispered by the elders spoke of a malevolent witch who had once lived there, casting dark spells and conducting unspeakable rituals. The forest was said to be a forbidden place, and no one dared to venture into its depths. Undeterred by the legends, the friends set out one sunny morning armed with backpacks filled with sandwiches and flashlights. They entered the Blackwood Forest, the foliage so thick that the sun struggled to pierce through the canopy, casting eerie dappled light on the forest floor. Birds ceased their songs as they delved deeper into the heart of the woods, and an eerie silence enveloped them. The forest grew darker as they ventured further, and the air felt heavy with a sense of foreboding. Ethan, the brave leader of the group, urged them forward. "We can't be afraid of old stories," he declared, though even he couldn't hide the tremor in his voice. Hours passed, and the forest seemed to transform. Trees twisted into grotesque shapes, and strange, ghostly apparitions flitted at the edge of their vision. The once clear path now appeared to shift, leaving them disoriented and lost. Night fell swiftly, and they realized they needed to find a place to set up camp. As they gathered branches and leaves to fashion crude shelters, Maya's flashlight caught a glimpse of a sinister figure lurking behind the trees. She screamed, and the group huddled together, their hearts pounding. From the shadows emerged an old, gnarled woman with piercing, malicious eyes and long, tangled hair. She was the very embodiment of the witch from the legends. The children were paralyzed with fear as she approached, her voice like a whispering wind. "You should not have come here," she hissed, her eyes flickering with malevolence. "This forest belongs to me." With a wave of her bony hand, the trees began to close in on them, roots snaking towards their feet, and the forest itself seemed to come alive with dark magic. Panic set in as the children struggled to break free from the entangling foliage. It was Noah who remembered the old stories. The only way to escape the witch's curse was to speak her true name. He whispered it hesitantly, "Isabella." The witch screeched, her form dissipating into smoke, and the forest released its grip on the terrified children. They fled back through the sinister woods, following Noah's memory of the twisting path, until they finally stumbled back into the safety of their beloved Willowbrook. The terrifying encounter in the Blackwood Forest haunted their dreams for years, and they never spoke of it again. The legend of the Witch's Glen became even more chilling after that fateful summer, a story to frighten children around campfires. The young friends grew up, and the treehouse in the oak tree slowly fell into disrepair, its once bright fairy lights fading into obscurity. But the memory of that long and very scary summer would remain etched in their minds forever, a haunting reminder that sometimes the legends of a place are far more real than anyone could ever imagine. In the heart of an idyllic, sun-kissed town named Willowbrook, nestled deep within the lush embrace of towering pines, 5 young friends eagerly anticipated the arrival of their summer vacation. Sarah, a spirited girl with fiery red hair and freckles that danced across her cheeks like constellations, led the group. Joining her were Jake, the resident jokester with a penchant for pranks, Lily, a bookish introvert whose imagination knew no bounds, Mark, the sports fanatic with a heart of gold, a budding artist whose every stroke seemed to breathe life into her canvases. Summer had always been a time for adventure, and this year was no exception. The friends' families had rented a charming lakeside cabin which they affectionately called the Sunset Serenity, and they couldn't wait to create lasting memories there. Their first day at the cabin was filled with laughter, as they explored the pristine woods surrounding the lake, dipped their toes into the crystal-clear water, and toasted marshmallows over a crackling campfire. The days slipped by in a blur of sun-soaked happiness, but as the sun dipped below the horizon each evening, a sinister undercurrent began to gnaw at their youthful enthusiasm. One sweltering afternoon, the friends stumbled upon an old, weathered map hidden in a dusty corner of the cabin's attic. The parchment, brittle with age, revealed a sinister legend, the legend of the Shadowed Hollow. According to local lore, this dark forest lay hidden deep within the woods, a place where no one dared venture. The map seemed to beckon them, promising adventure beyond their wildest dreams. Determined to uncover the secrets of the Shadowed Hollow, the friends packed their bags with flashlights, provisions, and a sense of trepidation that danced like shadows in their hearts. They followed the map's twisted trail, guided only by the eerie glow of fireflies and a rising sense of unease. As they ventured deeper into the forest, the world around them transformed. Trees loomed like ancient sentinels, their gnarled branches reaching out like skeletal fingers. The air grew thick with an unnatural silence, broken only by the occasional rustle of leaves or distant, mournful cries of unknown creatures. Hours turned into days, and the group became disoriented, their once confident steps faltering as they plunged further into the heart of the Shadowed Hollow. Seemed as though time itself had lost its way in this forsaken place, as the sun never quite reached the sky, casting an eternal twilight over the landscape. Their flashlights began to flicker and die, and panic set in as they realized they were utterly lost. Whispers of malevolent laughter danced on the wind, and ominous shadows stalked their every move. The forest seemed to come alive, morphing into grotesque forms that taunted their senses. As tensions rose, they turned on each other, their fear and exhaustion pushing their friendship to the brink. Jake the Joker became unhinged, laughing hysterically in the face of their growing despair. Emily the artist saw grotesque, nightmarish images in every shadow, which she frantically tried to capture in her sketchbook. Days turned into weeks, and the once vibrant group of friends dwindled. Each member succumbed to the relentless grip of the Shadowed Hollow, disappearing into the inky abyss one by one. Sarah's fiery hair became a distant memory, and Lily's boundless imagination gave way to endless fear. Only one remained: Mark, the sports enthusiast. He had become a hollow shell of his former self, driven by an unrelenting determination to escape the accursed forest. With the last vestiges of his strength, he stumbled upon a dilapidated cabin hidden deep within the woods. Inside, he discovered an ancient tome, a chilling testament to the forest's dark secrets. It spoke of a curse that bound the souls of those who ventured into the Shadowed Hollow, condemning them to become eternal guardians of its cursed grounds. Mark knew he couldn't escape alone. With grim determination, he set out to free his friends from their nightmarish fate, hoping against hope that he could break the curse and bring them back to the world of the living. But the Shadowed Hollow held its secrets close, and the darkness seemed to stretch on forever, its malevolence insatiable. Mark's valiant efforts were in vain, and he too succumbed to the forest's sinister embrace. And so the friends' summer adventure became a haunting legend in Willowbrook, a tale whispered in fear around campfires. The Sunset Serenity cabin was abandoned, its memory forever tainted by the darkness that lurked just beyond its walls. The friends, lost to the Shadowed Hollow, were never seen again, their youthful laughter silenced by a forest that hungered for souls. The once bustling town of Willowbrook became a place of quiet sorrow, a shadowed hollow of its former self, forever haunted by the memory of that fateful summer. In the small, picturesque town of Whispering Pines, nestled deep within a dense forest, summer had always been a time of carefree adventure for the young friends who lived there. Amanda, a spirited and fearless girl with fiery red hair, was the leader of their group. Her best friends were Jake, a lanky and curious boy with a mop of unruly brown hair, and Emily, a bookish girl with glasses and a penchant for the supernatural. As school ended and the days grew longer, Amanda, Jake, and Emily eagerly plotted their summer escapades. They had heard whispers about a mysterious, abandoned mansion deep in the heart of the forest, and the allure of adventure beckoned them like a siren's call. The mansion, known locally as the Van der Meer House, was said to be haunted by the ghosts of its former inhabitants who had disappeared without a trace a century ago. One sunny morning, the three friends packed sandwiches, flashlights, and a sense of excitement as they ventured into the woods. Tall trees cast eerie shadows on their path, and the forest seemed to grow denser with each step they took. They had only a crude map drawn by an eccentric old man from the town's library to guide them. Hours of trudging through underbrush and crossing babbling brooks led them to the mansion's looming, ivy-covered gates. It was a Gothic monstrosity, an imposing structure that had once been a grand estate but had long since fallen into disrepair. The gate creaked open reluctantly, as if warning them to turn back. Amanda led the way, with Emily clutching her books tightly and Jake gripping his flashlight like a lifeline. The mansion's interior was dark and foreboding, the air heavy with the scent of decay. Broken windows allowed slivers of dim sunlight to filter through, casting eerie shapes on the cracked, dusty floors. They explored room after room, each more decrepit than the last, until they stumbled upon a door at the end of a corridor, half hidden by a heavy velvet curtain. Amanda's heartbeat quickened as she pushed it open, revealing a spiral staircase that seemed to descend endlessly into darkness. Without hesitation, Amanda led the way down, her flashlight casting an eerie glow on the ancient stone walls. The air grew colder, and the friends began to hear faint, whispering voices that sent shivers down their spines. They pressed on their curiosity and the friends began to hear faint, whispering voices that sent shivers down their spines. They pressed on their curiosity and fear driving them deeper into the abyss. At the bottom of the staircase, they found themselves in a vast underground chamber lit by flickering torches mounted on the walls. In the center of the room, a grotesque altar stood, adorned with strange symbols and surrounded by candles. Chained to the altar, their eyes hollow and empty, were the apparitions of the Van der Meer family, their souls bound to this cursed place for eternity. Before the friends could react, a sinister figure emerged from the shadows, clad in tattered robes and a sinister mask. It was the old man from the library, the one who had drawn the map for them. He revealed himself as a disciple of dark magic, and he had lured them here to offer their souls as sacrifices to the malevolent spirits that dwelled within the mansion. Amanda, Jake, and Emily's hearts raced as they fought to escape, but the dark magic was too strong. The sinister figure chanted incantations that bound them to the altar, their voices joining the haunting chorus of the Van der Meer family's ghosts. As the friends' bodies grew weak, they clung to their memories of summer adventures and the bonds of friendship that had brought them to this nightmarish place. With a final surge of determination, they broke free from the dark magic's grip, disarming their captor and freeing the Van der Meer family's souls. The mansion trembled as the spirits were released, and the underground chamber began to collapse. Amanda, Jake, and Emily raced back up the spiral staircase, the walls crumbling around them. They burst out of the mansion just in time to see it crumble into ruins, the cursed building finally reduced to rubble. Their summer adventure had taken a terrifying turn, but they emerged victorious, their friendship stronger than ever. They knew that the memories of that fateful summer would forever haunt their dreams, a reminder of the darkness that could lurk even in the most idyllic of places. But they also knew that they had faced their fears together, and nothing could ever truly break their bond. Whispering Pines would always hold a special place in their hearts, a town where innocence of youth had collided with the malevolence of the supernatural, creating a summer tale that would be whispered about for generations to come.